Hello and welcome to Verge Magazine's brand new podcast, Chatting Films with Coffee. I'm Simon and I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Mike Elkins. How are you, mate?
Very hot.
It is hot.
Very hot.
It is hot.
Yeah. Coming live from your kitchen.
Yeah.
I say live, obviously we won't be live.
Yeah, we'll be like a pre-record, but we are nonetheless in a kitchen. Sweating profusely.
Drinking really hot coffee.
Yeah. Apparently, the best thing to do when you're hot is to drink a hot drink.
Mm. Yeah, when I was in India, I lived off tea.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There we go, listeners. There's your first bit of...
Did it cool me down? Probably no.
No, probably not.
No, it didn't.
First bit of random knowledge done.
That's true,
So, yeah, believe it or not, we are in the kitchen. We will be recording in the shard as of, but we're treating this very much as a pilot. So we are in the kitchen. It is hot, so do bear with us. So, Chatting Films with Coffee. It's basically going to be a podcast that does exactly what it says on the tin. Mike and I are both film enthusiasts and coffee fanatics. So we kind of thought, let's combine the two.
It's the perfect marriage, I think.
Indeed.
Is it not?
We did do a podcast together a few years ago, and it will have slightly different content.
Very. That was completely unplanned. Yeah, no real direction at all. Very popular in South Korea, though.
South Korea, and I remember the odd hit in Ukraine. Just before the revolution.
Yeah, I think we were involved in that kind of. We sparked that.
Sparking the Ukrainian revolution. It's on my CV.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm most proud of. So, bit of background about the podcast, I guess. I am the freelance film and TV editor at Verge, which basically means I'm the guy who sorts out trailers, movie reviews, film clips, all that sort of stuff. Interviews, that sort of stuff. You might have seen some of the red carpets we've done recently. If you have, I am the incredibly awkward chap interviewing people far superior than me.
Was Tom Cruise as short as people? Was he like stood on some yellow pages? That's how I pictured him.
Like a little box.
Yeah. Was he actually? He was stood in a box?
He sadly wasn't. And you know what's really embarrassing? About the same height as me.
Oh.
Yeah, he just comes across very short.
Yeah. I sort of. I mean, I'm short. Obviously,
you are. Yeah.
You guys don't know, but I am. Yeah, 5'6" at a push.
That's generous.
I always sort of had hope that I was taller than Tom Cruise, but no. I sort of had 5'4" in my head. It's kind of where old Tom was coming up at.
Well, that's only slightly taller than dear old Ronnie Corbett. Rest in peace.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd say between the two of you, you and Cruise are probably on a similar page.
Oh, that's a good height then.
It's a good height.
I'll take that.
Yeah. So that is a bit about me. Mike, over to you, mate.
I don't work in film or media or anything. I have a film degree. If that qualifies me to talk about film.
Of course. More than me.
No, I just love watching films and talking about them.
What made you want to do a film degree?
Inability to do any other degree, if that counts.
That does count.
No,
I wanted to be a doctor.
I am a big lover of making films in particular. Documentaries is more my thing rather than your kind of your fiction Hollywood blockbuster.
Well, you won an award for your documentary.
I did, going back a while. But I did. And I still, keep my hand in, do bits and pieces.
Yeah.
What I do for my day job is very removed from that. But, it's a passion rather than an occupation at the moment.
Yeah, well, we've done quite a few projects together, me and Mike. And you are starting to write for Verge when the NFL season kicks off. So that is going to be exciting.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah, it's kind of the perfect blend.
Yeah.
And speaking of the perfect blend, here we go.
That's not. It's like it's rehearsed.
Partridge-esque coffee. We're obviously both big coffee fans as well. Basically the main reason for wanting to do this was to basically combine our two biggest passions, film and coffee, and just basically chat about the stuff we usually chat about, but record it whilst drinking.
You can all listen,
whilst drinking a perfect cup of coffee, using an AeroPress, which we will be getting to later.
And we both have fairly different. I think we have different likes, different tastes when it comes to the coffee.
Yeah, absolutely.
You enjoy a slightly milkier, or you did, whether that's now changed.
Whereas still the flat white and cappuccino.
I'm a big fan of a filter.
Yeah, so it's nice that we're able to converse really over some lovely coffee. Where is this week's coffee?
So this is really, I wanted to showcase the AeroPress and its ability to revitalise old beans. So I had a bit of a scratch around in my little coffee box at home. And we have Santo Domingo coffee, which is essentially it's the Dominican Republic's version of Nescafe. So nothing groundbreaking. I was there at the start of the year for my honeymoon, drank a lot of coffee, and
Naturally.
thoroughly enjoyed it. So I thought I'd bring a bag home. Now, 6-month-old beans really should be past their best. The AeroPress does a wonderful job at bringing them back to life, I think.
Yeah, it's very nice. It doesn't scream Nescafe, so that's good.
It's not a particularly pretentious coffee. It's not one of those where you've got, I can taste hazelnut and lemon, or it's just coffee.
It's a straight black coffee.
It is, yeah. There is no messing around. In the morning, this is what I would have to kind of pick me up.
That's understandable. It's waking me up.
I've made it maybe a touch strong. We've already spoken more about coffee than I actually thought we would.
I know.
I thought it was going to be more of a passing, this is what we're drinking, now on with the film.
You may have noticed we are kind of sponsored by AeroPress. I feel like we should chat about coffee for a bit. I guess also the idea is that we're going to be try out new coffees hopefully every week, but we will kind of see how it goes. We both have an abundance of coffee in at the moment. So if there are any coffee brands listening who fancy sending us some coffee,
yes,
we're not above begging.
No, I will. I'll get down on my knees if need to.
So, moving on to film.
Yeah.
It's been an interesting couple of weeks for me personally. I'm going to give you a date, Mike, and I want you to tell me about the first things that come to your mind when I mention it. Friday the 13th. What do you think?
Well, Friday, was the day that I was born.
Really?
Yeah, Friday the 13th of May. Yeah. Unlucky for my mum.
Yeah.
But no, I guess it's a date that is synonymous with horror films, but I'm not sure that's where, knowing the content of what this podcast is, there's nothing particularly horrifying about what we're going to be talking about.
No.
So, I have no idea.
You do, you're just lying. So basically, Friday the 13th, as Mike rightly says, is obviously synonymous with horror films. But Friday the 13th just gone, I interviewed someone I'd always wanted to interview.
Simon Pegg.
Exactly. I love Simon Pegg, but alas, no, it was Tom Cruise, or Cruiser as I like to call him, because we are very
Should we
close
have some
now.
sort of name drop sound effect?
A little ding.
A very light clang.
Clang. I interviewed Tom Cruise for the Mission Impossible UK premiere. Thank you. There we go. So I felt like this is probably a very good way to kick off the film element of the podcast. Tom Cruise, man, like...
You don't get bigger.
You don't. Height-wise, you certainly do. No. Certainly do.
I guess if you've got A-list, he's kind of A+.
Yeah. I would say so.
Brad Pitt, DiCaprio. It's a very small group of people who can...
Yeah.
I think be up there.
I agree. And I think he gets a lot of bad press as Tom Cruise. People always like to have an opinion on Tom Cruise, but I've always wanted to interview him. I think he's incredible. And in my opinion, anyone who's been at the top of their game for 30 years in an industry like Hollywood, like that deserves an incredible amount of respect. And that was basically the reason why I wanted to interview him. The video is on the Verge YouTube channel and website, so check it out if you fancy it. Mission Impossible, firstly, go and see it. It's bloody brilliant.
Is it?
Really good. Now, considering this is 6 episodes into the franchise, it is just, it's visually incredible. The amount that they put themselves through to give audiences these incredible scenes is just mind-blowing. And we were sent some of the behind-the-scenes clips, which you can also find on the website. And the amount of stuff they put themselves through just for the audience, just to really push the boundaries of cinema, is really, really incredible. And it's so much better than just using CGI and explosions.
That's what I was going to say. They've always seemed to have put a lot more of an onus on doing their own kind of active stunts. Tom Cruise is still doing his own stunts, no?
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
did he break his ankle? He broke his ankle making this film.
He did.
That's dedication, if nothing else.
the scene basically got a huge, whoa! It was a collective groan when the scene was shot, and it's maybe a bit of a spoiler, but I don't care. They keep the bit in where he lifts himself up and he puts pressure on the ankle.
Okay.
And that's
so
really
actually
cool
it made the cut.
Yeah, it made the cut. And when you see him hit the building and you see him pull himself up, he's like, now that's respect. That is pretty cool. But yeah, he still does his own stunts. He learned how to fly a helicopter with this.
There's dedication again for them, and that's. I mean, it helps if you've got the money to be able to just casually take helicopter lessons.
Yeah, mind you, if I was backed by Paramount, I'd probably just make them pay for it.
And I'm sure we did. Expensive.
Yeah.
Expensive.
I'm not gonna do a massive review of the film, but it is out this Friday. Make sure you go and see it because it's just such an incredible spectacle. Really, it's really, really enjoyable. There are a lot of action cliches as you would expect, but currently I think it's got 95% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yes, it has. IMDb, I think, gave it 5 out of 5.
Yeah.
It's always been a more enjoyable Americanized James Bond.
Yeah, totally. It doesn't take itself too seriously at all.
There's whereas Bond is more kind of your suits and women and wine and all of that kind of stuff alongside what he does. Mission Impossible's kind of the
short Tom Cruise like.
Yeah, just straightforward explosion, car chase, another explosion, for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Everyone knows what you're going to get with a Mission Impossible film.
Yeah, and this one really, really doesn't disappoint. Obviously, they've done some incredible stunts, and the stunts just get better and better. This film, he becomes the first person in cinema history to successly perform a halo jump. But it's
what is
really,
a halo? I have no idea.
It's basically jumping out of an aeroplane in a specific way. Okay. If someone said to me, "Is that a halo jump?" I'd say, "I have no idea," but it looked good. Okay. But he has become the first person to do it, and that clip is definitely on the website. So check it out before you go and see the film. But yeah, mate, I really, really would wholeheartedly go and see it.
I will. I think it's out of all of the films that we're talking about today.
Yeah,
that's the one that I'm going to make an effort to see. Or obviously I've seen one of them.
Yes.
I'm not going to rush back to see that, but yeah, Mission Impossible definitely. I think this weekend if I can.
Yeah, do it. And that obviously goes to the listeners as well. Go and see it if you can. You will not be disappointed. It's about 2.5 hours long. There are a lot of cliches. Incredible value for money. Like just to see what they put themselves through, it's totally worth it. So that's Mission Impossible. Spoke to Simon Pegg, spoke to Tom Cruise, spoke to Rebecca Ferguson, who is badass by the way. Really, she's quite diva-ish, which I quite respect.
Yeah.
And she was nice to me, and I made her laugh, so you're all good. Just make them laugh, and you're all good.
Yeah. Oh, you're basically an A-lister now.
Well, my auntie texted me saying you're becoming an A-list, and I said nope, I'm just interviewing them because they are far superior to me. They are a lot more talented. Thanks, mate. It's hard not to when we're in such an inspiring environment.
Tom Cruise has never ever podcasted from a kitchen.
Exactly.
In this particular part of life.
So, I'm gonna get another coffee if you fancy one.
I'd love one.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so check out the trailer whilst we're away for Mission Impossible Fallout. Check out the video that we did for the red carpet. And we will be back, well, in your ears, probably about 2 or 3 seconds away. But in real time, about 5 minutes. Oh, what a lovely drop of coffee.
Yeah, what have we got now? I've got the same.
You've gone for the same. I also have an espresso machine, which isn't AeroPress, so I'm not mentioning the name. Hi, AeroPress. And I've basically just gone for a long black with a tiny bit of milk.
Did you know that AeroPress are the same company who made those really, really good frisbees? The ones that you throw and they just keep going. But who'd have thought they'd make really, really good coffee?
And surprisingly affordable coffee machines as well.
I mean, is it a machine? I don't know what you would...
It's like a plunger.
Yeah.
It's a coffee plunger, essentially, guys.
Yes.
But you're going to find out all about that at some point. And I can't wait to bring it to you. It's going to be good. Right. Coffee. Done.
Yeah.
Mike.
Yes.
You saw a film recently.
I did. Yes, The Iceman.
The Iceman.
So when I first got the title in my inbox, I thought, oh, a superhero film.
Nice.
How wrong I was. Yeah. No. So, I mean, okay, so the basics is directed by a German chap called Felix Randau.
Good name.
looking through what he's done, he's won a lot of awards for various films, very much in this line of film.
Okay.
So I'm talking now, I guess art film, art cinema would kind of be where it would maybe come.
Okay.
But with a very polished Hollywood look to it.
I like that though.
Yeah. Main role, main character, the only one really worth mentioning because he's on the screen for pretty much every second is a chap called Jürgen Vogel. He plays a character called Caleb.
Okay.
Caleb, I have no idea how it's pronounced.
Either.
The reason I don't know how it's pronounced is because you never hear him actually referred to by his name.
Okay.
Or any of the characters referred to by their names. Because the whole thing is filmed in an ancient language called
Raetic.
Yeah.
Wow.
So this is a language that existed in the region where this is set, which is the northern sort of Italian Alps. When were you born? Were you born in 91? You were?
Yeah.
You were actually born in 91?
91.
Cool. Well, the year that you were born, some German tourists were having a wander in the Tyrol, up in the mountains, and they discovered a body.
Okay.
And initially, I think they thought it was like a hiker. In fact, it was an ancient, effectively a mummy. So
wow.
it was a gentleman who was aged by scientists over 5,300 years old.
Wow.
From a long time ago.
Right.
Sort of Neolithic type era. This film kind of takes inspiration from them finding that body. Basically, there's this mystery about how he died. This film is a prediction about maybe how he came to be where he is.
Okay.
So,
I mean, as plots go, that is brilliant.
yeah.
That's really, really ambitious.
That's it. And I read an interview with the director, but basically he said that he was looking for something that he could relate back to his Germanic culture, that he could kind of explore prehistory from the regions that he grew up in. He was amazed. This was the first time somebody took what they found and thought, you know what? How did he get there? Let's explore that in the medium of film. He's a writer and director, so this is his project, his baby, so to speak. Yeah. Very, very simple.
Yeah.
Storyline is very basic, so without giving much away, Kilab, the main character, he's kind of the main guy in the village. He goes off hunting. While he's off hunting, 3 men come into the village and murder everyone.
Right.
So this happens in the first sort of 5 minutes of the film.
Oh wow. Okay.
And it is one of the hardest things I've seen in
Really?
a long time. I think because you don't, when they're talking, you have no idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, true.
So you're you're just
subtitles?
watching. No subtitles.
Really?
No subtitles. I've got to say that. Yeah, nothing.
Wow.
All you get at the start of the film is a little card that pops up and says, basically, this is filmed in Raetic. You don't need to know what they're saying to be able to follow the story.
Yeah.
Which is very true. You don't, because the narrative is so simple.
That's brilliant.
So he comes back to the village to find that all the villagers killed. His family. The only survivor is a small baby.
Okay.
He then takes the baby. And then the rest of the story is him basically tracking down the 3 men who came into the village.
It's very similar to The Revenant.
Very.
Wow, okay.
There are huge periods of not a lot, punctuated then by intense action for very short, very, very short periods of time. On his voyage, I mean, he goes across through the Alps, through the mountains, through the pine forests of that region, and it looks spectacular as a film. And it's the only reason I'd probably go and see it in the cinema.
Really?
Would be to see it on the big screen, because I think it would look incredible. And the director did actually say that the location, Jürgen Vogel is the main role, the location is the second. Okay. And yeah, it kind of works. They shot it on location a couple of kilometres from where the body was actually originally found.
Wow.
The background into the film is probably more interesting than the film itself for me.
Okay.
Just the thing, like they would rehearse a scene throughout the day 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
The camera movements and everything else, and they'd have to shoot it at the end of the day. They'd have maybe 2 takes maximum to get it right
because of the lighting.
Okay. So as an actual film to make, incredibly challenging.
Yeah.
For the actors, it's basically a silent film.
Yeah,
so you've got
yeah,
an
of
hour and a
course.
half where they have to portray everything through emotion or action. That side of it, very, very good.
I was going to say, it
quite
must be,
captivating.
from a performer's background, that must just be a really, really enjoyable thing to be doing.
Yeah. You just got to really understand what the story's all about.
Yeah, totally. And just
And I think the themes are the big thing.
Yeah.
If you get, it's the idea of loss, struggling. I mean, the whole thing is just a struggle from start to finish.
Yeah, it makes sense.
For some of the viewers, it will be a struggle. I mean, if you've seen Apocalypto,
Oh, Mel Gibson.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's kind of heading down that line in terms of
Okay.
people will love it, people will hate it. I don't think there's anybody who's going to sit in the middle on this.
Okay.
Although when I give my score out of 10, I'm going to sit pretty much bang in the middle. But yeah, such a difficult film to kind of describe because it's so simple. There is no sort of plot twist. There is no, like, you know what happens because they found a body in 1991.
Yeah, of course.
So you know the end result. It's that kind of, basically it's like a whodunit, but set back in, 5,000 years ago.
A very cold, icy whodunit.
Yeah, essentially. And I think it was, I read a review somewhere that said it was the first murder mystery. It kind of is.
Yeah.
It is entirely fictional in terms of
How
how
it
it,
happened,
gets
yeah,
to
that
the
makes
point. And I think it's an incredibly brave attempt to come up with something that is quite original in its, and challenging for everybody involved. Those who like to sit down and watch a film and be tested and to have to really concentrate, I mean, I had to watch it twice, will love it. Those that maybe prefer your Mission Impossibles, your Mamma Mia's and that sort of film, it may be a step too far.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. I mean, I'm giving it sort of a 6, 7 out of 10.
Okay.
I enjoyed it.
6.5 out of 10.
Yeah. I likened it to when I've travelled, I've been to a couple of countries that maybe I don't. When I'm there, I don't want to go back. I'm already like, I can't wait to leave. But then when I leave, I'm kind of like, oh, I maybe want to go back and have another look around.
Yeah,
With this film, when I was watching it, I can't say I was sitting there loving it. But when I finished it, I kind of wanted to go back over and revisit bits and pieces. And
Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds like you appreciate how it was made rather than what it's telling.
yeah, basically.
Great.
Basically that. Because I've seen...
But that's
we've
kind
all
of how The
seen
Revenant works.
We've
I've
all
mentioned it
seen-
many a time.
journey films. We've all seen...
Yeah.
Like Lord of the Rings even.
Yeah, of
you know,
course, yeah.
and so much happens. Not much happens in this film. You kind of, he's got to go from A to B, and he does it fairly well, within an hour and a half. And there are large periods of not much, but he does meet people along the way. Some good, some bad. Some help him.
Yeah.
Others don't. I think where the director's been very clever is he kind of lets you get over what you've seen, and then he throws something else in, and then he lets you get over that, and then something else.
So it's layered.
Very, yeah.
Tragically layered.
Yeah, yeah. And there's a couple of things which I don't think worked. There's like a religious thing called Tinaka. It's basically like a very shiny rock in a box. This thing gets stolen by the 3 people who come into the village.
Okay.
And then on the jet, he finds it again and kind of gets it. But there's you have no idea what that is. Because of the language difference, because those things can't really be explained through silence.
Yeah.
That was lost on me completely.
That makes sense.
So yeah, I think it works in some ways. It lets itself down maybe in others.
Okay.
Visually incredible. The soundtrack is very good and makes it. Yeah,
Really?
It's won awards for its soundtrack, makeup, and everything else. It looks visually very, very strong, which is
So-
why I would go and see it in the cinema.
That was going to be my next question. It's out on Friday. Do you recommend going to see it?
Yes, if you like to be challenged, don't go and see it on a date.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
I think it's the sort of film where the people who are going to go and see it are going to get offended if you're rustling your popcorn.
Okay.
It's
Perfect
not.
way to describe
It's
it.
not a relaxing film.
No. Okay, well, that was very, very interesting. I do want to see it. I like something that you really have to concentrate on, but it has to be, you're so right, it has to be on in the right circumstances.
Definitely.
If you've had a really long day, don't go and watch it.
Don't go watch it. No. But if you go in, you think, you know what, I want to be entertained, but I want to have to
Really think about it.
and just sit
Yeah.
back and enjoy filmmaking. It's a great film.
Okay, well that's the Iceman. It's out on Friday. Go check it out. Mike's giving it 6.5 out of 10. So
maybe go see the Iceman and then go and see Mission Impossible.
And then
Back to back. And then finish it off with with a sing-along.
With a little sing-along, courtesy of Mamma Mia 2, which, mate, I have to say, I loved.
I mean,
You've known me for a while. Does that shock you?
No, it doesn't. I was making some notes on the train up here, and all I put next to Mamma Mia was
this is going to be amazing.
Simon has 5 minutes to convince me. I mean, I have questions.
Yeah, that's fine.
But predominantly, I haven't seen the original.
Oh, there's your first step.
It's
not something you'd rush out to go see, is it?
No.
Okay, well, it's neither me. And I'll be honest, that's like... I saw the first one. I didn't see the first one in the cinema. I saw it in like probably a girlfriend's house. And just, it's good for what it is, but I can't really like invest in it. So, Mamma Mia 2... When you look at how much money Mamma Mia made 10 years ago at box office, that is the reason why they've done a Mamma Mia 2.
Oh, it's payday.
Oh, yeah, big time. I think Mamma Mia took something like 700 million at box office. Mental. So, there was always going to be a sequel. The way they've done this sequel, well, it's not going to win any awards for originality, but it's believable, and it's fun, and the time flies by, and written by Richie Curtis.
Okay, so there's some, okay.
So huge influence of Richie Curtis's work.
Yeah.
So it's fun, it's funny, and at the heart of it is basically kind of like a rom-com.
Yeah.
So the story is basically, if you haven't seen the first one, which you obviously haven't, Meryl Streep's character, Donna, she isn't in this one. Her daughter, Amanda Seyfried, she renovates the hotel because it needs some work done. And basically, I don't want to give away too much. The hotel needs some work done. And she's getting guests ready for a grand opening. But it's the easiest plot to follow. It's basically renovating hotel, grand opening, split between present day and past day. So you see Amanda Seyfried, and you also see Lily James, who is brilliant, as Donna, basically living her life and how she meets these 3 guys and how she ends up on the island.
Okay.
So easy to follow. It's good fun. Lily James is basically the traditional gap year student.
Yep.
So quite annoying. Mm-hmm. But like probably less annoying than most millennial gap year students, I would say. And she even sings and dances every 2 minutes.
So more talented.
Yeah, certainly more talented. So yeah, I mean, really easy to follow, and it's just really good fun, mate. Like the performances are good.
Is it one of those kind of guilty secret kind of films that most blokes will watch tentatively at first and actually sit there thinking,
I'm actually enjoying this.
I quite like this.
Yeah, and that was pretty much what I was like. I was like, well, this is going to be completely pointless. There doesn't need to be a sequel, and then there is a bit of a slow start, and it's very cliched to begin with. But once you're about half an hour in, it's actually, okay, now I've totally bought into this. Like, it's not taking itself seriously at all. It's actually really funny. The choreography is great. ABBA, you forget how many good songs they have.
That was going to be one question. So do they use the same songs as the first
There's
one?
a few similar songs. Obviously Mamma Mia, that's in there. Shock.
Yeah.
But Waterloo makes an appearance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so there's a whole, choreographed bits of Waterloo and Fernando and many ABBA songs, which you forget how many there are.
They must have made a fortune off the back of this.
Oh, of course, and I think the 2 boys in ABBA are...
Are they making a comeback or something? I've not heard that. I'm sure I read somewhere that...
I don't think they'll need to.
Timed perfection. No, perfection.
They're executive producers on this.
So
they made some money.
Yeah.
Also, executive producer, guess. You won't ever guess it.
Somebody completely...
Possibly the most respected actor of his generation. Hollywood superstar.
Hollywood superstar. Like Al Pacino or someone like that.
Tom Hanks.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom likes a bit of ABBA.
Loves a bit of ABBA. So it's produced by his production company. But yeah, I mean, it's just really good fun.
Does Pierce Brosnan sing?
He does.
Badly?
Yeah. He got laughed at, which I thought was quite funny. There's not really a lot to say about performances. It's basically just a musical. Performances are good.
Yeah.
There's no standout. Lily James is very good in it. And Julie Walters and Christine Baranski are very funny in it, as they were in the original.
Yeah.
Best way I can describe it is if you just want to go and watch a film and have a laugh and completely forget about how rubbish your day was, perfect for it.
I mean, I can see how this is going to play out for me. I am going to go home and tell my wife that we've talked about Mamma Mia 2.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to say, oh, can we go and see it? I'll be reluctant, but give in.
Mm-hmm.
Like you, I'll get half an hour in and be like, I quite like this. When I knew we were talking about it, I went on and I was like, if I can stream it, I'll watch it.
Okay.
I could only pay for it. I wasn't going to pay for it.
Makes sense.
Out of choice. But I can see that I'm going to end up
paying for the sequel.
original. Yeah, so I'm pleased you enjoyed it.
I mean, it was good. Yeah, it's just there's plenty of musical numbers in it. And I can't remember the last time you look around the cinema and you just see people smiling and
which is good.
Just like clapping
that's
their
what
hands.
it's all about.
Exactly, yeah. And it was just like, you know what? It was really, really enjoyable. It's so easy to watch. It's good fun. Pierce Brosnan singing is hilarious. Cher turns up, which isn't exactly a spoiler because she's in the trailer, so don't at me. Can't be asked for that. And I've decided I want to be friends with Colin Firth.
Okay.
Yeah. Which I don't know if it could happen.
Probably not.
Probably not.
No, I'd say definitely.
Honestly, mate, it's good fun. I'm genuinely giving it 4.5 stars out of 5.
Wow. So I'm rating films out of 10. You're rating them out of 5. We need some sort of moving forward now. We need some sort of standardised.
I can budge mine to
rating
9 out of 10.
system.
Okay.
I quite like 5. Plus, it then makes my review of Iceman seem better when I give it a 3 out of 5.
Yeah, true.
3.5 out of 5. That means it's okay. Okay,
it is 4.5
I'm
out of
pleased.
5.
And I think, it strikes me. It's the perfect film for this type of summer.
Totally.
Where it's very hot. Everyone just wants to feel, if they're not going away, they want to feel as if they are abroad somewhere, they can relax and enjoy themselves.
Absolutely.
Seems a little bit like my, just chucking it out there now, my favourite film of this nature is The Holiday.
Okay.
Every Christmas, without fail, I have to watch it 3 or 4 times.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. 3 or 4 times is quite excessive.
I like Cameron Diaz. But yeah, I think it might have that effect on quite a few people.
Yeah,
summer, weather's nice, you know what, let's
do it.
Let's sing to some ABBA.
Did get me thinking, do musicals make good films?
Not all.
Grease is the only one I can really think of.
Les Miserables was
Didn't
Les
like
Miserables.
Yeah.
It was terrible.
I did not.
Russell
I did not
Crowe.
get Les Mis.
Please no. That wasn't meant to rhyme, actually.
Anymore, I'm enjoying these.
That wasn't meant. What have I think Miss Saigon would work. See, I
a bit heavy.
It's a war film.
Yeah, true.
Not everything has to be Mamma Mia-esque, jazz hands and all that kind of business. Like Cats, no, that's not going to work. Maybe animated it might.
There you go. Anyone listening fancies a punt on Cats, the animated musical? I thought maybe Wicked.
That is happening, I believe.
Is it really?
I'm sure I've read some of that. That would naturally Wizard of Oz, isn't it?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah.
I should be a producer. I should be signing off. Yeah, Wicked, that would work.
Yeah.
Grease, been done.
Yeah.
Miss
Cats,
Saigon.
only animated. Yeah. Touch heavy, Miss Saigon? Question mark. When I was travelling up, there is a film being released later, next year now, but within a year from now, that I am really excited about. I was thinking, is there anything coming up that you are particularly looking forward to?
I was going to say Halloween. If you'd have asked me 2-3 months ago, I would have said Jurassic World and Mission Impossible. I'm looking forward to Venom. Tom Hardy. I think he's going to be excellent in that.
He's good in everything.
He is. And speaking of Tom Hardy, also looking forward to seeing him as Al Capone. So they're really the main two. I'm sure if I really thought about it, there would be.
Yeah.
What's yours?
Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yes, of course. Quentin Tarantino.
Looks to me to be pretty much the perfect film.
Yeah.
Paper.
I'm obsessed with 60s America.
Yeah.
Manson.
The whole Manson murders are fascinating in themselves.
Exactly, yeah. So add into that Tarantino's humour, his style of film, and
it's
the cast is incredible.
It's set up exactly like Pulp Fiction, I believe.
Really?
In chapters.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and just seeing it, like the initial, like the picture of DiCaprio and Brad Pitt Just kind of just wets the whistle.
Totally.
Yeah. I can't wait for that. Yeah, the cast is going to be
shout.
Damien Lewis and Steve McQueen. Could be interesting. But yeah,
it's just brilliant, isn't it? It's such a fascinating time of like modern history.
it was the crossroads, wasn't it? Really.
Yeah, totally.
Everything became from post-war into that kind of start of the modern.
Yeah.
The music and everything else, the lifestyles of the youth, and then
Now I don't know whether you've caught onto this, listeners, but we are kind of sponsored by AeroPress, and they've actually given us 3 coffee machines to give away.
Is it 3? I thought it was only 2.
3.
That's extra wonderful of them.
Exactly. So, to enter the competition to win an AeroPress, you either have to retweet and follow both Verge and AeroPress on Twitter. If you don't have Twitter, like our AeroPress post on Instagram and follow both Verge and AeroPress on Instagram. Answer the following question, which is...
You can't just throw me on the spot.
I'm going to throw you on the spot. Under the bus.
What day and date did Simon interview Tom Cruise?
Easy.
Day and date.
Date and date. When did I interview Tom Cruise? Send me an email. simon@vergemagazine.co.uk. That is simon@vergemagazine.co.uk with the answer. Right, that was the first episode. Without a hitch, I would say.
Hitchless.
Hitchless.
I'm now sweating profusely.
God,
It
I'm
must
so-
be about 40 degrees in there. But yeah.
Bring on the shard next week.
Yeah. Nice view, aircon.
A lot.
Yeah.
Films, coffee, pastry, pleasure.
Yeah, we should rename our podcast Pleasure.
Pleasure podcast.
Pleasure.
Thank you so much for listening, guys. Hope you enjoy it. And yeah, we'll be doing this again next week.
We'll be in touch.
See ya.
Bye.